So here is a new Mobil-Cut yard saw that I want to talk about our wear items. On our Mobil-Cut yard saw, there's really only 4 or 5 wear items that you need to pay attention to. First, that will wear out most and most frequent will be your chain. Chain is pretty obvious when it's sharp based on when you're going to feel the different, how much force it requires to make through the cut. But really what you're looking for is this corner where the initial cut is happening. So if you're able to both see resistance, number of cuts, or simply inspect to make sure that you hadn't cut through a staple or something like that that will dull its chain. And when this corner becomes too dull and rounded off, you'll definitely see the resistance. You'll see probably a ripple in the side cut of the wood. Many different things, but definitely is that corner is going to be the first to go. So then you have your saw bar. You should be flipping your saw bar every roughly 500 cuts, which is every third chain change. Chain should last about 120 to 150 cuts. So about every 3 chains, you should flip your bar. So the bar should just simply flip. So you go from the cutting edge on the bottom to the now will be used on this top. And when doing so, after about 2,000 cuts per side, you'll start to see a groove where the chain rides on the saw bar itself. And when that groove becomes about a 32nd of an inch deep, that's when you need to send this bar back to us for reconditioning. Send it back in the boards that it came with, and ship it just raw on the boards with UPS, and put the label on and ship it back to us, and we'll recondition it. Next is the idler wheel. So the idler wheel is what provides the tension in the chain during the cut. You can see that there's a little bit of slop in between the shaft and the press fit bearing, and by simply just wiggling back and forth, you can tell if that bearing is starting to go. The bearing will go prior to you digging that groove into this hardened surface. It should last approximately probably about a couple bars in length before this will start to go. But simply wiggle it, and if it starts to wiggle more than normal when you're changing on a chain, you know that's when it needs to be replaced. It's good to have one of those on the shelf along with an extra bar, as well as in a drive sprocket. So the drive sprocket itself is what drives the chain, and a groove will start to dig into the face into the top surface of this gear. So this is what is driving the chain, and eventually this will wear in. When this wears probably more than a 32nd of an inch or a 16th, you definitely want to change this out, because you're changing the pitch of the actual chain itself, and you'll put too much stress on the chain itself. So when you're changing the chain, take a look at the idler wheel, as well as making sure that the groove here isn't getting too deep. Last on this is the coupler for the oiler. So the oiler shaft is coupled directly into the shaft for the drive sprocket, and the coupled is actually this rubber grommet inside of here. Probably hard to see if I'm not focused, but in there, that rubber grommet will start to go. It's about a $20 item that you probably should have on the shelf, and every once in a while check to make sure that that's not shredded or coming loose. So again, we have the rubber coupler there, we have the saw bar itself, we have the drive sprocket, we have the chain, and then we have the take-up unit, or the take-up idler wheel. So this entire thing is called the take-up assembly, and this is the idler wheel for that assembly.